Good morning. Good morning, all you wonderful people out there. How you doing? Karen Drucker here, coming to you this morning. So take a deep breath. Know with me that anything that's going on in your life, that you are healed of that. Anything in your mind, in your heart, in your body. Here's a chant I wrote with Gary Lynn Floyd. I am healed from whatever's going on. It goes like this. I turn it over, I let it be. I've got to trust that there's more than I can see. I turn it over and I believe I am healed. 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 Goes like this again. I turn it over, I let it be. I've got to trust that there's more than I can see. I turn it over and I believe I am healed. 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 Want to sing that with me once? Turn it over. I turn it over, let it be. I let it be. I've got to trust that there's more than I can see. I turn it over. I turn it over. I believe I am healed. 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 Say that to yourself. I am healed. Bridge goes like this. Healed, I know right now I am healed. Deep in my soul I am healed. I declare it now. I am healed. 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 Let's sing it one more time. Bring it into a prayer. I turn it over. I let it be. I've got to trust that there's more than I can see. Do you hear that line? I got to trust that there's more than I can see. There's something else going on. I turn it over and I believe in my heart that I am healed. 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 Declare that for yourself now. With whatever you're going through, healed. I am healed. Right now, I am healed. So it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen. That's Karen Drucker bringing us our invocation for this morning in music. Always so good to be in ministry with you. I'm the Reverend Deborah Johnson, and welcome to Inner Light Ministries. Just take a breath. Be with us this moment. This is your Sabbath. Wherever you are, it's your sanctuary right now. Regardless of the time of day, regardless of the day of the week, Regardless of anything that's going on around you, you are on holy ground. You're on holy ground because you're a holy being. So we come here together from all different parts and corners of the world. We come here with one single purpose: to be. To unleash the giant spiritual genius within us, to awaken from the hypnotic slumber that has us caught up in the stuff of the world, to recalibrate so that our frequency is in alignment with the divine of our being. That's why we come. We come to celebrate life. We come here to have something ripple in consciousness. Isn't that something? Just think about it for a moment. This thing that we call the cloud. How many people really understand it? But yet everybody's trusting their data, their information to it. Like they can put it in the cloud and know that it's going to be there to be retrieved. Well, all of this technology, all of this artificial intelligence, all of it is mimicking consciousness. In metaphysics, for years, we've been calling it the ethers. Physicists now are sometimes referring to it as the field. But we're putting stuff in it all the time. We're putting stuff in it all the time. Just like the cloud. And it's there to be retrieved at any moment in time that you want to tap into it. Oh, this is good news. Oh, and it's a warning. What are you downloading? What are you tapping into? And just like we have this thing called trending, which is that which is current, as opposed to that which is archived. Archived doesn't mean that it's gone. Archived just means that it's more in the back of the file folder of the filing cabinet, and it isn't being retrieved as often. Take a breath. Sometimes we have to reverse what we're trending and what we're archiving. Let's think about that for a second. Too many of us are trending whatever it is that's going on. The hurts, the pains, the angst, the divisiveness, whatever that is. And we've archived our prayers. We've archived the miracles. We've archived the forgiveness and the compassion. We need to flip that switch. We need to flip that. So that what we're trending is truth. What we're trending is possibility and hope and aliveness. And what we're archiving, because you can't really ever get rid of anything, but what we're putting further and further back behind us so we're not tapping in and accessing it all of the time. It's the stuff that we want to be healed. It's like burying it in the ground and letting Mother Earth break it down like a huge cosmic compost pile. We just put all of our stuff. We lay it down. To help you trend the right stuff. To help you trend the things that are actually going to be a benefit to you on your spiritual journey. Every week, we offer you 100 words. 100 words to change your life, 100 words to synchronize you with the truth of your being. These are principles, they're perspectives, they're processes, they are principles, they're practices. And I guarantee you that if you will dare to let them penetrate your consciousness, if you will dare to reinforce them through continuous repetition so that they get embodied within you, it's going to change you. It's going to shift you. And the change will be in the direction of the real you. It'll help you dislodge from the clinging that we have to people, places, and things that get us distracted. It'll help your inner eye become single and focused. If you are in any way able to, with me right now, say these affirmations out loud, I invite you to do that and to review this, to come back and keep repeating it. Something within knows when it's time to move on. Something within knows when it has outgrown the place where it is. It is not disloyal to grow. Change is not betrayal. I listen to the inner nudgings calling me into my greater yet to be. I don't need drama and trauma to spur me on my way. Truly, a whisper is enough. I am grateful for the adventure called life. I stay intrigued by its mysteries. With an open and willing heart, I open to what is next. I embrace the new traveling companions I meet along the way. Let's just breathe that in. Breathe that in and let it simmer and saute a little bit. And to help cultivate our consciousness for the message, I am going to invite Karen Drucker to come back and to give us a little music offering.
Thank you. Thank you, Deborah. Boy, what a setup for this song. This is perfect. I actually have written a whole talk just around this song because I have so much charge about the idea of exactly what she's talking about today, of just when it's time to move on. One of my favorite expressions is stop watering dead plants. You know, just when it's time, need to move on. So this song, The Call of Something More. I wrote this song at a time when I just didn't know. Something was calling me, but I didn't know. I had to let it be. I had to trust. I had to listen. Get quiet. Hear. I feel a storm brewing inside of me. Clouds moving around my heart. Something's changing that I can't see. I'm stuck in what I know is safe, but not yet where I'm supposed to be. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call to be something I've never been before. I feel the call of something more. And I feel the call that's asking, what am I here for? 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 They say that pain pushes till the vision pulls. Seems like my safety nets have fallen down. I wish I had a map of where to go, but I got this feeling in my soul that I'll get there, I will know. I feel the call of something more, and I feel the call to feel something I've never felt before. I feel the call of something more, and I feel that call, and it's asking, what am I here for? 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 So that's the question. What am I here for? I love this quote by Howard Thurman. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive. Go out and do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So I started a practice when I was in this place, putting my hand over my heart, saying, what am I here for? What does my heart have to say? What is Spirit calling me to be, to do? What does my heart have to say? I want to make a move right now, though I don't know when or how. But when I trust and know the truth, my heart will point the way, yeah. There is so much in me to share, so today I do declare I will take that step in faith and let my light shine. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call to be something I've never been before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call to be something I've never seen before. I feel the call of something more. I feel that call, and it's asking me now, what are you here for, girl? What are you here for? What am I here for? What is mine to do? What is mine to see? What is mine to feel? What is mine to be? What is mine to do? What is mine? What is mine? What is that piece of real estate that I stand on, that only I stand on? What is it for me to do in this lifetime? Is it about giving and receiving? Love, love, just love. What is mine to do, to be, to give? I think it comes down to love, yeah. Just love, give and receive that love. Just love, just love, just love. What am I here for? Love.
Mwah! Woo! Mm. There it is. Whoop, there it is. I mean, that the song said it all. It really, thank
Good
you.
setup for both of us today. Your affirmations are just perfect. It's Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Karen, for
darling.
that.
Thank you.
Whoo! Just breathe that in, everybody. Just feel it down on my toes. The topic today is when it's time to move on. Two days ago, my 6-month sabbatical started. And what I know is that there comes a point in time in everybody's life where you have to listen. And I do it in pockets and I do it in, sputterings here and there. But I've never really had time. I never really taken several weeks at a time or something and just given myself a chance to be. During these past couple of years with COVID, everything's been upended. There's no going back. Things have changed. It's more of a question for us of where do we go from here? The last couple of years have been mixed. Certain professions and certain people have been able to just chill out a little bit. Shelter in place, be creative, do whatever they do. Other people have been having to work overtime, double time, under tremendous amounts of stress. And some have been like somewhere there in between. I know personally, I've worked really hard during COVID, really, really hard. What it meant to those of us that have businesses and professions that were all around gathering and communing, to turn that ship around into being something else and still getting your core mission done, but through other means. All of that's been a lot. And I don't have to go through the whole litany of everything that's been going on in my life. But what I can tell you is this, is that there's nudgings that come in that tell you when it's time to move on. I'm not abandoning anything. And you'll still have Sunday service messages. But what I am doing is giving myself some space to get off of automatic pilot with my life filled up with all of the different things in which I had been doing, and to listen to Spirit tell me how to show up now. Now, I've been pastoring over 27 years before there even was an internet. And I know my calling is to be a minister. I have no, doubt about that, and all the different ways and flavors and whatnot that can be. And there's all these creative works that are within me, things that I've already done that really need to get repurposed and packaged and get out there in the world, things that I haven't been still enough and quiet enough to let come through. But you can get that sense when things are just rote and you're just going through the motions because this is what you're doing. Sometimes we do it in marriages, relationships. We can do it with jobs and careers. We can do it with almost anything. And if we're going to stay fresh, if we're going to stay vital, there's something else that we need to do. In our sharing, Karen said, Karen Drucker here said that this phrase that stop watering the dead plants. Stop watering the dead plants. And I feel like there's so many of us that are in fact doing that in our lives in some kind of way, shape, or form. When do you know it's time to move on? It's not a moment on a clock. And what I find is that by the time most of us actually give ourselves permission to move on, there's something that's been nudging at us for quite some time. We misunderstand sometimes and think that if we're doing something right, then we should be able to just stay there. Last month of June and the month before May was graduation season for us in the United States. And there's all of these things that are going on and that are happening. And I've always found it interesting that sometimes we refer to it as a graduation ceremony, and sometimes we refer to it as a commencement ceremony. Commence to begin, graduate to complete. But it's both. It's both. The moving on is quite often a graduation. Let that sink in for a moment. You aren't being nudged along because you've been doing something wrong. You're being nudged along because done there, been that. You're not growing as much as you can grow. There's a greater impact that you can have. There's more depth and awareness and understanding. And that if you don't shift, if you don't pivot, you're going to stymie yourself. We have a misconception about being in a rut, where we tend to think of a rut as being at a standstill. There's no such thing. Nothing in the universe is ever at a standstill. Everything is always moving, it's cycling, it's orbiting. Everything circles around and around and around, whether it's the cells in your body, whether it's the solar system, the wind is blowing in currents. There's nothing linear. Nothing linear. That's not what's going on. And there come these points in time when it's just next. It's time to graduate. You've done the third grade math. Now it's time for fourth. It's time to get out of high school, go on to college. Or it's time to get out of college, get a job. You know, that there's that something within you. I remember several years back, I went to this homeopath that I had been working with. And she also does Ayurvedic horoscope readings, which is different than the kinds that I'd gotten before. And when I went to her, I was explaining to her, I said, I've got this anxiety inside, and I'm not even sure what it is that's got me so bothered. I said, it doesn't really seem to be anything, going on that's upsetting me that much, but I was just like racing inside. And she just looked at me and she says, oh, well, you can let that go. She said, that it's nothing to do with your past. It's your future calling you. And it was like, boom. I knew in my heart of hearts that she was telling the truth. It was my future calling. Our future's calling us. Our future. Those inner nudging. I'm thinking now about a song. It's actually the first song that I've ever wrote. And it was the first song that I co-wrote with Valerie Joy, actually before we were even partners, before we were even a couple, later married. It, it came right about the time I was starting Inner Light, about 25 years ago. And it is, you can get it on, Spotify and all those places, YouTube and whatnot. It's part of the musical companion to my series of the Letters from the Infinite. The first volume is called The Sacred Yes. And there's a whole CD of songs for the journey. I probably co-wrote maybe half of the songs on that. And the very first one was called A Whisper Is Enough. It essentially is a spirit letter. I get these downloads, and it was a spirit letter put to music. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that you go check it out. The lyrics are good and the music is just exquisite. It's a beautiful ballad. And it's the voice of the divine that's talking to us. And if I can recall the lyrics, this is what it says. Must you feel pain in your body? Chaos in your home? The clutter of confusion or blocks on the path that you roam? Do you notice me when you're happy? Or is the euphoria much too high? Why wait till you're in the valley? Must you seek me with a sigh? What will it take for you to hear me? What will it take for me to get through? A quiet whisper is enough for me, but what will it take for you? I love you. In the bleakness of your winter, in the purging of your fall, even in the spring and summer when you think you're the center of it all. I'm there for you when you want me, even there for you when you don't. I come through before you ask me. I come through even when you think I won't. So, what will it take for you to hear me? What will it take for me to get through? A quiet whisper is enough for me, but what will it take for you? I'd like to make it easier. It is my will that you be free. I want your life to be fulfilled. You make it so hard for me. I don't desire that you be angry. I don't rejoice when you're all alone. I created you for my glory, and forever you are my own. So, what will it take for you to hear me? What will it take for me to get through? A quiet whisper is enough for me. But what will it take for you? What will it take for you to hear me? What will it take for you to come true? A quiet whisper is enough for me. And my whisper is enough for you. Breathe that in. A whisper is enough. Drama is optional. We don't need to be hit upside the head with the 2x4. Everything doesn't have to fall apart. We don't have to hit the bottom. It's just next. What's the next evolution? What's the greater yet to be? There's always more. And I'm not talking about a quantitative number. I'm not talking about the insatiable materialism that just keeps having us want to get more and more things externally. I'm saying that our DNA, or all of the spiritual principles, just like the periodic table of elements, where everything in the manifest world is some kind of combination of, iron and copper and, helium and all the rest of these things. And it's that way with us as spiritual beings. All of the things that we think of, love, faith, courage, strength, resilience, forgiveness, all these things that we know of as spiritual qualities, it's who we are. It's who we are. And there's always a greater way in which that can express. There's always a greater way where more of that can come out. In the midst of our deepest trials and tribulations, we've tapped into more resilience. We've tapped into more compassion. To really experience the power of forgiveness, there got to be something to forgive. I'm just saying. To really understand resilience and resurrection, you got to go. You got to be down to know the power of coming back up. And all of it is part of the spiritual journey. We build little cottages beside the roadside, and we get comfy there. We don't want to be disturbed out of that. But life is a journey. It took me the longest time to figure out that life was not a destination. There was no there. There's no arriving. It's just the journey. It's just the who we become along the way. I love the way that Lao Tzu puts it. The good traveler has no fixed plan and is not intent upon arriving. The good traveler has no fixed plan and is not intent upon arriving. That wherever you are, moment to moment, really want you to catch what I'm saying. Don't make next this thing way out there that you're trying to search after. It's every single day. I'm reminded of where my life was. Oh, man. When that song came out that I just quoted you the lyrics of, "A Whisper Is Enough." I was a hot mess, and was in what we sometimes refer to as the dark hour of the soul. I mean, really thick down in it. And it was one of those situations where I didn't really get it. I didn't really understand everything that was being asked of me, but I knew I had to get out of automatic pilot. Okay. I knew that I needed to stop hiding. And there was a message that came that's a letter that's now in the book, The Sacred Yes, about spiritual availability. So during this dark hour, I made a commitment to move forward. I made a commitment to finally finish ministerial school. I was just turning 40. And I'd gotten a call at 15 and had been running from this for 25 years. I promised God I'd do something about it by the time I turned 40. It seemed like a long time away back then. And I knew I had to make these big shifts and changes. And I was doing everything that I could to make myself committed. And I never forget this. The spirit voice said to me, I don't want your commitment. I was pissed. When I heard that, I ain't even gonna lie. I was like, what? I felt like I had blown my whole life up. Everything reorganized. The relationship I'd been in for 14 years, like all these things, like trying to create the space for me to do whatever this is next that Spirit wants me to do. What are you talking about? You don't want my commitment. Spirit said, I don't want your commitment. I said, your commitment is your promise to show up in the future. I want you today. I want you available today. And that the cumulative total of the daily availabilities equates to commitment. Listen to what I'm saying. And Spirit was explaining to me that that's how I blew up that relationship I had been in. I was committed. There's no question about I would have been there to the end of time. But I wasn't available. I wasn't available. This is what Spirit wants from us. Not your commitment, but your availability. Day to day to day. Which is why I say don't think of next as some distant place out there. Next is next. Next is the next moment, the next hour, the next day. I use recovery analogies a lot. If we think about this, that phrase and that understanding, one day at a time. And when you're in it, it's one moment at a time. 1 hour at a time. We think that our past is just something that's already happened. You are creating your past every moment. You're creating your past every moment. When today becomes yesterday, tomorrow, you set a whole new past into motion. You're not stuck You're not stuck where you are. You can set today is the first day of the rest of your past. Today is the first day of the rest of your future. We've heard that. Today is also the first day of the rest of your past. Now, here's the thing. Everybody isn't necessarily going to be all that happy with the inner changes and the callings that you have. And I get that. Oh, I get that. Too often we make love about not changing, where we stay more committed to the forms of expression, the way that those relationships are, than we do to the authenticity and the integrity of the people. So we keep trying to squeeze the people into the form, as opposed to making our form stretch to reflect the growth and the healing and the transformation of the people. Too many of us, whether it's on our jobs or with family or spiritual communities or whatever, we've made pacts of mediocrity. We've made pacts of mediocrity. Stay with me always. Never change, never grow. Well, I'm never going to leave you. And one of the first things that people think of when they think about being called up and out is, what is this going to mean for everybody around me? And too often we sacrifice that inner calling for whatever that is that's calling us because we're too afraid of its impact. Trust. 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 You're not the only one being called. You're not the only one being called. And when one of you has the courage to step out a little bit, you actually inspire other people to step out a little bit. The only way that anybody can appear to be really left is there's a sense of just standing still. What I was saying, that we think of a rut as a lack of motion. A rut's not a lack of motion, it's repetitive motion. The rut is the same motion over and over and over and over and over again. And there comes a point. The old WWJD, like, what would Jesus do? I grew up very Pentecostal. And I actually think about that. What would a highly evolved spiritual being incarnated in a human body do in this situation if they were looking at things through their Christ mind and not just all caught up in this stuff? I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about why do, quote unquote, bad things happen to good people. And they were under this impression that somehow or another, if you're good, you get to be exempt from all of the traumas and dramas of life. And I just looked at him and kind of chuckled. I said, I don't know, ask Jesus. Even he didn't get to escape some drama and some drama in life. And likewise, even he had a point where it was time to move on. In the story of his life, after he's crucified in the tomb and resurrect, he's amongst the people in what's referred to as a transfigured state. I'm imagining it's kind of like an aberration, kind of like a ghost sort of thing, holographic perhaps, in terms of what they're trying to describe. And he's going back to his disciples, and Thomas wants to actually touch him. Get that word, the doubting Thomas. I want to, who are you? Let me really touch you. And Jesus' response back is, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended, lest you drag me back. That word touch means to exhibit an influence over. It's not actually a physical touch. Like we would say, I find that very touching, or I was touched by that. It's in the present imperative, which is a command to do something in the future, continuous and repeated. And because it's in the negative, touch me not, it means it's already been taking place. Touch me not. Don't influence me now. Don't influence me in the future. And I gotta put some barriers, some boundaries or something here so that I stop being so continuously influenced, because I am not yet ascended, lest you drag me back. Even Jesus was susceptible to being influenced by the old things to such an extent as it could have impeded his movement on to what's next. I am not yet ascended. It's not like forever, but we do get into these very vulnerable spots where we have to be careful as we're moving and following that call to move on, to not keep running back to the old vibration and the old influences and all of the rest of that. And it may be uncomfortable, but just like the caterpillar has to go into the cocoon for its metamorphosis to take place, quite often on this journey to move on, you have to create the equivalent of your cocoon, the equivalent of your touch me not. And that touch me not may not be to like external thing. It may be to your own desires, your own judgment, your own blame, your own guilt, your touch me not. Stop influencing me. Because I got places to go, people to see, things to do. Hearing that old spiritual now, hush, hush, because somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Sounds like love, but hush, hush, I gotta hear. Take a breath. You know when it's time to move on. Just give yourself permission. Dramas, optional. I'll leave you with the story that's coming to me. This was a number of years ago, and I was seeing a client, as a practitioner, spiritual counseling. And as she was leaving, deep Southern accent, she looked at me and she said, every now and then, she said, I can feel the hand of God on the small of my back. And I turn around and say, don't push. Don't push. She said, I just get to step a little faster. Don't push. Don't push. She said, because when you have been pushed by God, you have truly been pushed. And I want to offer that up to you. When you feel that something starting to nudge you along, just step a little faster. Just step a little faster. Because you're going to move. I prefer upright. Let us pray. Thank you, God. Thank you for having brought us from such a mighty long way. And thank you for all the places that we have yet to go. I'm knowing right now that we're never lost. We may not know where we are, but we're never lost. The great divine GPS system is always rerouting. We listen. And yes, Mother, Father, God, your whisper is enough. It's enough. We heed in this moment. We yield. We open our time-blinded eyes. We take off the armor. We lay down the sword. We turn the swords, the blades into plowshares. Study war no more. In this moment right now, we express gratitude for blessings large and small. You've always been there. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto us. And great is our faithfulness, Lord, unto thee. Not some other thing, but as us, and us as thee, one in the same expression and form. For the song to your music. Not all of music, but nothing about us as song is not pure music. Expressions of the divine. We're calling forth in this moment right now, using that co-creative power given us in the beginning to name things as so and have it be. We name ourselves healed, whole. We call it forth by name, helping it activate. We call forth the health in the body temple. We call forth the prosperity in the abundance. We call forth the safety, the security, the protection, the strength, the courage, the resilience. We call forth the compassion, the empathy, the forgiveness, the reconciliation. Large and small. One planet, one people. We bless the earth, Gaia, Pachamama, the Adama, from which we as Adam, earth beings, have come. And we vow to be caretakers and stewards like we were charged to be in the beginning. I say thank you for all of the doors of opportunities that are knocking on our heart, saying, come out, come out. They're flying open. The collaborations, the new projects, the ventures, the creative expression, the new ways of doing things, and we are not attached. Because no matter what we have thought of, there's always something greater and easier and cheaper and faster, and we're just moving in the direction. We're just moving into the direction so that we can look around like life's this big Easter egg hunter, like, woo! What's God doing over here? Woo! What's God doing over there? Woo! The blessings are everywhere. Everywhere. We are not fooled by appearance. Might have to look under a rock or two, but it's always there. It is with this consciousness that I release this word, knowing that it's done, knowing that it's fulfilled. Just get out of the way. Allow it to be, and so it is.
A whisper is enough. Just listen, yeah. A whisper is enough to hear. A whisper is enough. Trust. A whisper is enough. A whisper is enough. Just listen. A whisper is enough. Be open to hear. A whisper is enough. Gotta trust. A whisper is enough. Sing with me at home. Just say, a whisper is enough. Just listen. Whisper is enough. A whisper is enough to hear. A whisper is enough. Just trust. A whisper is enough. Let me sing it one more time. A whisper is enough. Just listen. A whisper is enough to hear. A whisper is enough. Oh, I'm gonna trust now. Now a whisper is enough. Yeah. A whisper is enough. Whisper. So let me go right into this little song. Wrote this about the same idea. You gotta let go of the shore if you want to go to the next place. Let go of the shore and let the water carry me. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. You have all you need. It's all inside of you. Just close your eyes and breathe and trust that you are safe. Let go of the shore. Let go of the shore. Let the water carry me. And let the water carry me. Let go of the shore. Float in, float into the mystery. No need to make a plan. Your heart will be your compass. Just lift your sails in faith and trust that you will arrive. Let go. Let go of the shore. Let the water carry you. Let go of the shore. Float into the mystery. Sing it again with me. Let go of the shore. Let the water carry me, and let the water carry me. Let go of the shore. Float into the mystery. Float into the mystery. Float into the mystery. A whisper is enough to float, to hear that call of something more. Gotta let go and float into that mystery.
Yes. Thank you, Karen. That's sweet. So sweet. Thank you.
So another song we've written together.
There we go. I tell you.
A whisper is enough.
We
Love that.
got to get together. We
I
got
think
a
we
lot
gotta
of
get
material
together.
between us.
I think so.
Let's take a breath, huh? Life is just so good. We are a praying community here. I invite you to reach out to us with your prayer requests. Could be you, could be a loved one, maybe a circumstance, a condition even in the world that you just need a little grounding on, a little anchoring. You can reach us by phone at 831-465-9090. Our prayer line is extension 254. You can also send us an email, the number 4, the word prayer, at innerlightministries.com. And one of our prayer practitioners, these are people who've studied 3 or 4 years to be able to hold this space. They will get back to you and respond. And everything's confidential. We pray with you, for 30 days. And even if it's something wonderful, you just want somebody to stand in agreement with you for the unfoldment of your greater yet to be, let us do that as well. And even if you want to just call and give us praise report, we welcome those. Yes, indeed. Let's just breathe that in. If you want to find out where we are and what's going on and what's happening, I want to invite you to check out our calendar, our online calendar, and it will let you know what's up, what's going on. There are some things that are on a continuous basis, and then there are some things that are, like specifically just for that time. Every third Sunday, we have been going in the evening, which is a third Sunday of the month, to the beach at the end of 14th Avenue here in the Santa Cruz area. A little bit before sunset, bring the bubbles and all of the rest of that and whatever it is that you want to play. And we just hang out a little bit and watch the sunset there on the third Sundays of the month. So if you're around in this area, you might want to hang out with us a little bit later on today. And if you are watching this real time, there is a Zoom after party that's going on. There are people from across the country. There are people who are literally coming in from around the world, and they are there. And you will see scrolling across your screen the invitation to that. It is a Zoom after party. tinyurl.com Sunday Zoom group. Just log into that. There are hosts that are there. You can even get into breakout groups where you can have a chance to talk about this message and things that are going on with you. It's our way of creating like a virtual social hall afterwards where there's meet and greet and discussion. So we want to invite you into the party if you're looking at this as we're airing live. Mm-mm-mm. I also want to invite you to be a part of conscious contribution. Yes, that part of the moving on is allowing our resources to move on as well, to not just sit there and hoard everything, that there's a way in which we circulate, there's a way in which we open up our coffers and share. So you'll see on the screen that there are these numerous ways and opportunities and options that you have to make contributions to this ministry. And I want to thank those of you who do so, particularly those of you who do so on a reoccurring basis, which is an option that you can choose when you go through our main portals here. There's a QR code that you can see. You can put your mobile device there and get that particular code. It will also show up at the end of the stream. You can go to our website. There's a donate button there. You can use that. You can go to Cash App, the $ Inner Light Ministries. You can also use the phone number that you see there to do a text to give. And I want you to know that every nickel, dollar, and dime is going to ministry. It's going to healing and transformation and reaching out to people. If you shop online and use Amazon, I want to encourage you to put Inner Light Ministries in as your charitable contribution recipient. And then it's no extra thing to you. It works with Prime or any of the other portals that they have there. But for qualifying merchandise, a small percentage of that comes to Inner Light. And it does add up when there are enough people who are doing that. And I want to invite you to do that. I also want to invite you to follow us on social media and to like us, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can find all of the archived materials here. I'm going to invite Karen Drucker back to give us a closing song. I always love being in co-ministry with you.
Very, very fun, I gotta say. I think your talk was just for me today, so thank you. So I am inspired by you to take a little sabbatical myself. But here's another song. I was gonna, it's always what happens, Deborah. I have a whole thing planned of what I'm gonna do, but then I hear you and I go, no, I'm gonna do this instead. So I'm gonna take that message and put it in song again. So here's a little chant I wrote with Jan Garrett. So same message of just no push, no pull. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive and listen, listen, listen. Sing that with me. No push, no push, no pull. No pull, I am empty and full. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive. I breathe and receive and listen. And listen, listen. It's all about listening, isn't it? No push, no pull. Empty and full. I am empty and full. Breathe and receive. I breathe and receive and listen. Let me give you another verse. I trust, let go. I trust, let go, surrender and know. I surrender and know. My heart is open. My heart is open to listen, to listen, listen, listen. I trust, let go, empty, and surrender and know. I surrender and know. My heart is open to listen, listen, listen. Let's bring it into prayer. No push, no pull. No push, no pull. Empty and full. I am empty and full. Breathe and receive. I breathe and receive. And listen, listen, listen. That's what it's all about today, isn't it? Just listen, listen, listen. I gotta listen, listen, listen. Listen.
Whispers enough. Just listen. Let us take this consciousness and multiply it.